So I'm gonna drive a car I've never driven on a track I've never driven on. This'll go well. Hey guys, what's going on? DeltaBot here. Oh wait. Hey guys, what's going on? DeltaBot here, and we're back with another episode of Does It Drift? This time with the MR2. And this one, I have no idea how it's gonna go because I mean I've driven a lot of rear-wheel drive mid-engine cars. Well, it's a drift car. But I've never... Oh, pop-up headlights. Oh my god. Pop-up headlights. Sorry, but I've never driven one this light. So I have no idea really what's going to happen. So it's going to be kind of swinging in the dark here to tune this thing. So I really did want to keep the stock engine, but I didn't think I would be able to make enough power. So I went with the G37, the VQ37, and you know it's a good engine. It's not as torquey, even with the turbos on it. It's not as torquey as I would like, especially for a car like this. But to go along with that, this car seems to be really it's not that it doesn't like drifting, it's just that it's kind of twitchy. And I'm sure I could tune that out of it. I could probably take some tire off because, I mean, it is a really light car. And it's got a ton of grip. And that can lend to it being twitchy. But I also think that I could probably loosen the suspension up a little bit to help with that. Because I left everything pretty tight, yeah. It's really reactive. And which, I mean, that makes sense. Mid-engine cars are really reactive to start with. And this thing is, you know, light. Very, very light. I can't remember how much it weighs, but it's not much. So, I mean, all that plays into it being a twitchy car, especially with the amount of tire I put under it. But, you know, it's a car that it's going to take tuning. I think it's just going to take some extra tuning to get right. And unlike the Bronco, I think I might actually put the time into this one because I really do like this car, and I think it could make a good all-around drifter, whatever you want to do, tandeming or points. And I think I'm going to make a video coming up in a little bit talking about the differences in those cars. But suffice to say, generally tandem cars are not going to be the best at getting points. But that's a discussion for another day. This car all around is pretty good. I feel like you could set it up for either without any problem if you put a little bit more time into it. But I mean, the uncut version, or not uncut, unsped up version of the build and tune was about 4.5 minutes. So I didn't spend a whole lot of time tuning this car. But that being said, for a really rough tune, this thing is actually really controllable. It'll get angle for sure. Oh god. But you know, it has a tendency to do that because it's really grippy and it's really light. So if it gets upset, or if it loses that traction, it's gonna be trouble. That's kind of how these kind of cars work if they're not set up properly, and this one obviously is not set up properly. That being said, this thing is really fast in a straight line. Like, this thing scoots in a straight line. And you can see actually I've got the gears really short. Generally my sixth gear on most cars will wind out to over 200 miles an hour. This thing, for how, I mean, relatively the small tires on the back, it has a lot of grip. So overall, good car. It definitely does drift. So thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like or dislike depending on what you thought of the video. If you do leave a dislike, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know what I can do to improve. Subscribe if you want more, and I will see you all in the next video.
That was an interesting. Is there still somebody up there? Yep. What an idiot! I wanted to get back into it with something I thought was a little goofy. Oh my god, you can take the roof off.